guys, it's Jessie and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another THOSE eyeshadows update. So I've been away from this channel for about a week. This is the first video you'll be seeing back. So hi, thank you guys for sticking with me. I had a great trip and we'll be doing a full get ready with me, chatting about everything and why I've been inconsistent the past few months and future plans. So stay tuned for all of that. But today I did just want to update you guys on my THOSE eyeshadows project because we do have some good updates for this month. It's a very varied update. One shadow we haven't used at all, one shadow we're rolling out, so it's a bit of a mix. But firstly, I'm just going to be going through my cream shade for the month. I have obviously, as I mentioned, been away. I've been away for about 2.5 weeks, so I don't have as much progress on these shadows as I would have wanted to, but we do have a rollout, so I do want to do this update now for you guys. But the first shade we have is Lo-Fi from the Escape Pod palette. This is the cream shade that I work on every month. I always set my lids with an eyeshadow, so I thought it would be best to work on a shade in this project every month as a lid setting shade. I'm working from my newest palettes backwards because I often just focus on my oldest palettes, so I did want to roll in my newer palettes. So Lo-Fi is this shade here, and I have actually only used it one time this month. You can see a big dip in here, but for lid setting shades I've been focusing in on my pan palette because there's a lid setting shade in there and I did want to hit pan on that. But you can see a big dip in Lo-Fi here. I've used it in total 16 times, but obviously only once this month, which is a bit disappointing. But I really am hoping to hit pan on that shade in my pan palette soon, and then I'll be straight back working on this. So yeah, I've no idea how deep these shades are, so this could be a couple months or just, you know, a few more uses, who knows, but not too much progress on here. Then we have the other like no progress shade here, which is a bit disappointing. There's two shades from my Carly Bybel palette in here, so I'm gonna just cover up one and then do the other one straight afterwards. But the shade we haven't used at all is Aura, right down here. It's kind of like a darker shimmer shade. I've only swatched it really and unfortunately have not used it, so I will swatch it for you guys now so you can see the colour story that we're working with. But this is the shade Aura up here, a really pretty pinky, kind of slightly peachy, I guess, rosy shimmer. Really gorgeous, but just unfortunately have not got around to using that one this month. I don't particularly know why, no really reason whatsoever. I've just been doing kind of more neutral looks and not kind of pinky looks, so unfortunately no use on that one. Then we have the other shade in this palette which does have a bit more progress. We have the shade Boy up here. I don't know if you can see, but there are some brush marks in there. I've actually, someone suggested, I believe in my last video of this series, to use it as an eyebrow shade, and that's what I'm doing today. It does work really nicely in my brows, so I've used this one 4 times this month for 11 uses total. I only started doing that this month with the brows, but I do think I can definitely hit pan on this next month, or hit the usage, sorry, and roll this out next month, because I just need to use it on my brows 9 more times, and I do my brows every day, so that definitely should happen. I definitely should have a nice bit more of a dip in there. Obviously you don't use too much when you do your brows, but hopefully I can roll it out next month. I'm 99% sure, unless something happens, that I will definitely be able to do that. So that's the 2 shades in my Carly Bybel palette. Then we have the shade Dahlia from my Oden's Eye Alva palette. Unfortunately, again, not too much progress on here. I've only used this one once this month, and this is the shade here. It's a really gorgeous colour. It's such a pretty shade. I forgot to swatch the Boy shade, so I will do that and then swatch this one out for you guys. So that's Boy there underneath Aura, and then swatching out Dahlia. It is such a pretty shimmer. That is it there. So it's definitely very shimmery, very glittery. It's similar to Aura, but it's definitely got more purple in it. Aura's have got a lot more kind of pinky red tones. I think they would blend more together. I mean, looking at it in person, they look a lot more different than they are appearing on camera. One's definitely very clearly purple and one's very clearly kind of reddy pink. But that is the shade Dahlia there. I've used that one once this month for 6 uses total. Obviously we need to hit 20 uses or pan to roll it out, so I think that will be in here for a little bit longer, but overall I am still really enjoying having it in the project. And then lastly, before we have the shade that's rolling out, we have the shade from my Maybelline Nudes of New York palette, and that was the shade Dreamer, and that is this shade up here. I had it in a project last year, which is why it's got such a big dip in there. I've used this one once this month for 7 uses total, so again we've still got a little way to go on this one, but overall it is a very pretty shade. We've got a huge dip in there, but I have no idea how deep that is. Again, that is it underneath there. So all our shimmers are kind of similar this month, but just different tones. So this one's much more neutral, much more purple, and then much more red. Again, looking a lot more similar on camera than in person, but those are the shades that we were working on last month. And now we have the rollout, which is from my Urban Decay Naked Ultraviolet palette, and that was the shade Mind Slip, which is this one here. In person, you can definitely see a dip forming in there. Again, not sure how you're going to be able to tell on camera, but I've used this one 3 times this month for 20 uses total, so there you can kind of see there's the dip. We are now able to roll that one out, which is very, very exciting, and I can't wait to do. So I do actually have a few bonus pans this month. I went traveling and just took one little travel eyeshadow palette with me. This one comes with me on all my trips because it has all the shades that I really need, and it's quite cheap, quite small. I got it in a glossy box, so I wouldn't mind if I lost it. And this is what the palette is looking like. This one had a pan before, but we hit pan in these 2 shades on my trip. This one also had a pan before, so 2 more pans added in. Yes, so I can use this one as if I want a liner. This works on my brows. These are good crease shades, lid setting shade, and then a nice shimmer shade here. So this is perfect for travel. But we do have 2 more pans now, which brings our total of shadows with pan to 51. I've got 821 total eyeshadows in my collection, 772 without pan obviously, and that brings my pan percentage to 6.2%, which is higher than the 5.9% it was last month, which is exciting. The peak was in April with 6.5%, but then I bought like a massive palette and a couple small palettes, so it has been going down. I've seen a new Beauty Bay palette that's been released, or like teased, so I probably will end up picking that one up too, because I often do my Beauty Bay videos, so probably won't stay this high for a while. But now we are going to roll in the new shade. So I'm going to do a random number generator. If it is too similar to something I've already rolled in, if it's similar to a pan palette or something just too similar really, I will just roll it out. And I'm going to go from 0 to 770, or 1 to 770, because that's the number of pans total I have in my collection. So now randomly generating one, if it works. There we go, we have number 213. So my palettes go in chronological order. The lower the number, the older they are. So that's kind of like a mid to old palette. So 213. Oh, that's interesting. That comes from my Lime Crime Venus Prelude, I believe it's called, palette. And I barely have used this one. This was a gift from Radiant, and I've just never really picked it up, never felt kind of inclined to. I thought about panning it this year, but then chose different palettes instead. So this is the shade Abyss, which I think is going to be, oh, that's interesting. So it's this kind of purpley shade in here. Probably the shade I would reach for almost least in this palette besides Stormy up here. Definitely more kind of leaning towards these tones here. But I will swatch that out for you guys. It doesn't seem to be conflicting with anything that I've already got rolled in, and that is it there. So it's kind of like a very kind of grey toned purple shade. This will definitely be more of an outer corner shade for me, rather than like a crease shade. It's very dark, but I definitely think we can get some interesting looks with that. I don't know whether it would pair well just deepening up Dahlia maybe, but yeah, very interesting shade we've rolled in there. I'm very, very excited to play around with that. I'll swatch it again because it's going a little bit patchy just in the swatch. Hopefully that's not how it works on the eyes. But yeah, this is the colour story for this month. That's definitely a very interesting one. I think that's probably one of the most interesting shades that we've rolled in recently. But yeah, obviously the goal for that will probably be 20 uses. Again, I don't know how deep these pans are, but I am excited to be getting some use out of this. The shades down here, I definitely think I could also work into a look. Maybe I'll do just a look with this palette at some point. If you'd want to see that on my channel, let me know. But yeah, kind of interesting, and I wasn't really expecting that, but overall very, very excited. So yeah, I really hope you guys did enjoy this update and are enjoying this series. I forgot to mention, but it will be linked in the cards if you haven't caught up so far. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this, don't forget to give it a like down below, hit subscribe, turn on the bell to our little club, and make sure you turn on all notifications. Then you will be notified every single time I post a new video. If you want to watch my other videos, there'll be 2 on the screen now to pick from, as well as a load linked up in the cards from earlier. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!